Hi, this is Gary Boehm. Thanks for tuning into this slideshow. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the projects that we have going on at the school now, some of the plans we have for the future. I'm going to run through a little bit of the vision and the mission first before I get to some of the changes that we have in mind for the fall. We'll start with the mission. The mission was written in the early 70s and is reviewed pretty much every year by the Board of Trustees, most recently last spring, and reaffirmed. The vision, we think, still serves the school well, and basically it says that the Maumee Valley's mission is to enable our students to become enlightened, compassionate, contributing citizens of the global community while still preparing them for their best opportunities in higher education. I look at the mission statement as a kind of constitution, and periodically the school needs to look back at the mission and to interpret it in light of current conditions. So for us, that means asking the question, are things the same as today in 2014 as they were in the early 70s when the mission was started? Clearly not. We've got computers now and the internet, and it really is a global economy. And what are the implications for our students today, given those changes? So we look at reinterpreting it through the work of a vision, and we call our vision MV2020. As you can see from the graphic, the vision rests on top of the mission, and it's there to serve the mission. And everything that we have under the roof of our graphic here is student-centered. That's the filter that we use to answer all our questions, and that is what's in the best interest of students. So you can see from the graphic also we have three pillars to our vision. One is personal, the other is experiential, and the third is global. Our vision didn't begin as a marketing statement. We didn't start with those concepts, but we started with an in-depth description and conversation about where we wanted the school to go and what it should look like to best serve the needs of our students today. So in the next few slides, I'm going to spend a little time exploring each of those topics, and then we'll move into discussion of some of the changes we're contemplating for next year. By personal, we mean several things. Of course, we mean individualized in the sense that every student is known at Maumee Valley and cared for. It also means that we know you, the parents, and work closely with you in partnership to do the best job we can to meet your students' needs. By personal, we also mean differentiated. And that means that our teachers are skilled and understand that students learn differently. They have different modalities, and the teachers vary their modalities, their teaching styles, to accommodate and meet the needs of the various students in their classrooms. Finally, by personal, we mean specialized. We mean giving greater attention to things that your student is interested in, and asking ourselves, how can we make the education more directed to the things that each student has that they are passionate about, or that they have a curiosity about, or that they have a talent for? What can we do in our program to help those students create a track through our school? And the reason that we want to do this is to meet the part of our mission which says that we prepare our students for their best opportunities in higher education. What we know is that colleges are more competitive than ever, and the most selective colleges, of course, are really difficult to get into. There's a recent New York Times article that talked about how there are fewer openings for domestic students, American students in American colleges because of the international student population and their desire to study in American schools. So what we have to do to prepare our students best for those opportunities is to help them become the unique individuals that they already are. And how do we do that? By giving them courses and opportunities to explore their passions. So that's what we mean by personal education. Experiential education is something that is pretty familiar to most of you, I would imagine. We do a lot of it already in the school. We're talking about hands-on learning, discovery approach to teaching, design thinking, which is a method of problem solving, and we're talking about authentic learning, opportunities that we create for our students to do things that really matter, like measure the water quality in Swan Creek and submit that data for scientists and for the government to use. And other kinds of work that they might do with in a social service kind of a way, or in business. How can we create opportunities for our students to actually do things? Another example is what we do with Winterim when students do real scientific research at UTMC. So those are the kinds of things that we do in a variety of ways that we want to do better and that we want to do more of. By global, we mean recognizing that our students will grow up to study in a global environment and to work in a global environment. So how do we best prepare them for that? Well, we've got our diverse international student body. We've got the Dial House. We've got 40 international students in the high school. We have travel opportunities for our students that take them abroad each year. And we have cultural studies in the school. So we're doing a lot already in this way, and we think there are ways that we can improve upon this by changing some of what we do. I sent an email to you describing the changes that we have coming up in August 2014. But I thought I'd spend just a couple seconds here on each of them. First is the Hybrid Learning Consortium. We're very excited about this. This is going to give our students an opportunity to study alongside students from 12 other schools in the consortium, 8 of them in the United States and 4 of them international schools. And it will expand our course offerings by over 100 classes and double the number of AP offerings we have. It's a very exciting list of schools and courses, and I urge you to go to the Hybrid Learning Consortium website and check it out. There are also certain conditions and guidelines that we have in place, and I sent you the link for that as well. Second is the athletic waiver. This is a no-brainer for us. This allows our students in the freshman year to get a waiver out of the PE requirements by taking 3 or more varsity sports seasons while in the high school. This will free up the freshman class to study other things or to have a free period, which many of them don't have this year. The third thing I'm going to mention is the biology and chemistry leveling. This is a great opportunity for our students to come into biology as freshmen and work with that teacher to formulate a path for them in that class where they can choose to take the class as an honors credit or take it for regular credit. And the honors option is particularly exciting because the teachers will work with each student to figure out what it is that they're interested in the field of biology, and then to develop an honors project for them so that they can get that honors credit if they want it. Third is the Winterim move. This one we're very excited about because we're going to be able to move Winterim back to January, and so it won't break up that fall term the way it has in the last few years. Fortunately, we've been able to work with our basketball program so that we will have minimize the impact it has on that program. Finally, the last thing I want to mention is the fine arts. We will be cutting the fine arts program in the freshman year so that we can expand it in later years. So instead of having to take both semesters in IFA class, an introduction of fine arts, in the freshman year, students will choose one of those, music, art, or drama, and then in the subsequent years they can take electives in their arts class. The overall graduation requirement for fine arts has not changed, but the ways that the kids can choose those classes and when they can take them has changed. It's become more flexible. We're working on some other initiatives that you'll see in the coming months. Biggest one, of course, you've heard about, which is the schedule revision. We should have a draft to share with you at the end of May and get your input on before we finalize it. Then, of course, we've got to begin training faculty. That schedule should go into effect in the fall of 2015. So we're about 1 year and 4 months out from those changes, which will give us time to work with faculty to train faculty to teach in longer blocks of time. We will have a director of teaching and learning in place by July 1st, and that's somebody that can help guide us as we revise our curriculum. Student portfolios is something we're very excited about introducing so that we can help our students track their progress and build their narrative as they move through the grades here. And then the expanded curriculum and faculty We've just done that with the Hybrid Learning Consortium. That's something that we're very excited about. And with some of the changes that we've been doing with requirements, will free our teachers up to offer more electives. So we're very excited about the direction that we're headed. All of this is coming under the MV 2020, and we look forward to keeping your engagement with that as we move forward. Just want to share a couple things with you about the schedule that we are working on. These are the goals that you see in front of you. We want to give kids opportunities for more credits. We want to do more APs. We also want to increase advisee time. And as you can see, we want to create more electives so that students can explore their passions and interests. Some of these will be year-long classes. And so we're very excited about this. These have been our guiding principles. Finally, this slide shows you where we are in the process. We have a 10-step process outlined. We've completed the first 4 steps. In the next week or so, I should be getting a draft from the committee. By the way, the scheduling committee comprises faculty and administrators. They will give me a draft. We will look at the costs of their proposals and what adjustments we need to make in order to achieve that. And then we will share that with all of you in a meeting later in May. So I hope you find this helpful. If you want to go to read more, you can go to the MV 2020 blog. You can reach that by going to the resource board on My MV. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you around campus.